Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. Today is the last episode of 2022, which is crazy because I think we started this in 2019, right?
So next year, it's not more until like closer to summer, but that's going to be year 4.
Oh my God.
Wait, 2020, 2021? Yeah.
Whoa.
Which is super crazy. We're excited. We want to try and take things a little bit more seriously with the podcast. Nothing really on your guys' end is going to change. Just we want to make sure that we are putting out good content and planning ahead and moving in the right direction. So Thank you if you stuck around with us for a while. If you think that you know someone around you who might enjoy the podcast, maybe send them your favorite episode and tell them to give it a shot, and maybe they'll stick around too.
Yeah. So to finish off the year, we thought it'd be fun to do a recap of all of our goals and resolutions that we had for 2022 and talk about how we did, talk about how we maybe didn't do, and just kind of recap how things went and if things along the way kind of changed. Or I feel like I've done a poor job this year, especially like towards the second half, of even keeping my goals in mind.
I don't know the last time I looked at my goals and resolutions, which I feel like isn't great if you're trying to have them, change and improve. So in prepping for this episode, I was kind of like, do I want to look at my goals and resolutions before like to collect and reflect and gather my thoughts? But I was like, it has been so long, I might as well just like blind react on the spot.
Blind reaction to my goals.
My goals were. The only one I know for sure was Duolingo, and like trying to, I don't know what the specific goal was, but it was something along the lines of
we can't wait to hear you recap that goal.
So, weekly spotlights. First of all, we'll do that. Christmas was yesterday, so we just finished up with a bunch of holiday festivities and just being around family. So we will be doing a what we got for Christmas video this coming weekend on our Megan and Ciera channel, because those kind of like weren't a thing for a while, and now I feel like they kind of
are coming back
again. So it was a really good Christmas. I cannot complain, honestly. So I
think we got a lot of good practical gifts as well. So hopefully if you guys watch that video, if you need any like not necessarily inspiration for Christmas because it just passed, but like if you want to spoil yourself for like the new year or something, or you have like something coming up that you would get a gift for, here's some recommendations hopefully that we can provide. And I think they're good, long-lasting gifts for the most part.
So other than that, like I don't have a super specific highlight. It was just like a good couple days.
We got lots of snow in the past week.
Like how we really have. Ciera and I have been shovel queens.
It really hasn't been that bad. But this is like the first time we had to shovel our own driveway.
Like usually when it snows, it does not snow as often as it has been. I feel
Is it not supposed to snow? Because it was supposed to snow at noon today. It didn't. So is it not
I don't really
supposed to
know
snow?
if it was actually supposed to.
I don't see any more snow until next
been
Tuesday.
Like
so
3 times, or it's just been a lot. And usually it's like snows once, and then you get like a little bit of a break.
I always feel like most of the snow usually doesn't happen, at least in Iowa, like where we're at, until the start of the new year. And so I feel like it normally doesn't snow in December. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit before Christmas. That's literally what happened. But like not as much as it did. Like there were like quite a few inches of snow on the ground.
I follow like the National Weather Service for Des Moines on Twitter because I don't have like cable. So like if there's weather stuff going on, like that's what I have. And so they posted like a little graphic of different areas of Iowa. So I was looking at Des Moines. There was little graphics of Christmas trees, and it was either like not covered in snow, it's kind of covered in snow, or like fully covered in snow to like show how many like white Christmases we've had since, I don't know, 1920. Like it had quite a ways back, and like a majority is definitely not a white Christmas. So.
Okay. See? So I'm right on that. I feel like it usually like waits until the new year and then it starts snowing. Because I always get like stressed when it like is wintertime and like I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna start snowing, and I don't like driving in snow, or like when it's icy out, and then I feel like I'm like, oh, I have to like the end of the year, and I'm like fine, and I worry about it in the new year. So that's how I always remember it. But driving actually hasn't been too bad. Granted, we didn't drive when we weren't supposed to, like the worst of it, which I mean I know some people have to, but some people definitely don't have to, and I'm like, why would you go out?
Yeah. Like the Seattle TikToks that
those were crazy.
I witnessed recently. So insane. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like
search
a YouTube
Seattle
compilation
snowstorm,
or just like search on TikTok, you will find plenty.
like cars sliding down
Roads
hills,
were literal ice.
People trying to use like knives or something to like climb their way up a hill. Someone like was holding on to like plants like that were next to like the hill they were like going up to like hold on to the branches and stuff to climb up. And like there's like a fence.
There's
that,
like literal parked cars on hills that just like, oh, gonna slide because it was so slick. I didn't know that it didn't really snow in Seattle.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like I never really thought about it, but
like if you'd have asked me, I would have guessed that it did because of how far north it is.
Yeah. Do you have any specific weekly spotlight otherwise?
We've had a good date so far today. Like nice productive day.
I will say
I was gonna tell myself
the holidays
kind
of being over, I was kind of like, okay, I've let myself be lazy. And that was kind of like because of the blizzard and because we went to holidays, like whatever. I was just kind of like, I'm going to be stuck at home and it is what it is. So today was kind of like a nice stepping back into reality and the fact that like we probably need to have a little bit more organization the next 4 weeks leading up to our test just to make sure we're getting the studying done that we want to get done. We're not sleeping our days away because preferably I don't like to do that, but I kind of had been. Not
more
really.
so like not
a
sleeping the day away, but like sleeping and then waking up at a time that I'm going to have to get up again for work. And so like I feel like I've been sleeping in until like 8 or a little past, and I'm like, well,
and then I like
can't
waste so much time in bed. So I've been like, let's not do that. So this morning it was actually like a nice example of just like trying to get back.
Like we got up around 7:30, shoveled our driveway because we had to do that first.
Which our mom, she got us both these UGG sweat sets that like are Sherpa lined, and so we put those on this morning to go shovel our driveway since it still is like it's probably like negative
11 degrees,
-4 or something. Like it's definitely getting warmer, but it is still cold. And so instead of having to like put layers on, I just put on the sweatpants and the sweatshirt and then like my boots and fuzzy socks and coat, and I was like, this was good. So it made shoveling bearable. It really hasn't been like that bad. And then after that, Ciera and I went to Starbucks. We decided that we wanted to use our workout later in the day because sometimes like we'll like go work out in the morning and then continue our day, but we decided not to.
So we went to Starbucks, studied for about 4 hours, which I was like, go us. And it wasn't too bad. Like I feel like I don't know if it's going somewhere else specifically that makes time go by a little bit faster or what, but I feel like the 4 hours went by pretty fast. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to figure out kind of a mix of like studying in our office, studying at Starbucks, or like where else we can potentially study. I think that will help hopefully reduce the monotony of our routine.
Right.
And then after that we went to go work out.
Super packed at the gym today.
It was. I was talking to Megan and I was like, why is it so busy? Like, why is everyone here on a Monday at like lunchtime? And she was like, well, most people have today off because it's the day after Christmas. And I was like, oh, right. I completely forgot. And I was like, what is everyone doing here? I know why I'm here, but don't you ever feel like that's how I feel? I mean, this happens all the time. I feel like our gym is busy no matter what. It wouldn't be this busy normally, but like I could go on like noon tomorrow or like noon the next day when people like would be at work, and I'd be like, why is it like full? And I think it's just a mix of people who have like off schedules or like stay-at-home moms who like always bring their kids. That's like the vibe I get from like the daytime crew. Or like kids are on break now, especially like college kids home for the holidays. Anyways, or like when you're on the road and you see people like driving, you're like, I know why I'm driving at like 10 a.m. on a weekday, but why are you all driving at 10 a.m. on a weekday?
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we finished working out and then we convinced ourselves to go get groceries. Didn't really want to, but realistically, we needed to.
We're really in our trying to find good, but like a variety of meals era. Did I word that right? Because, you know, we've had our tried and true recipes. If you guys watched our, especially like college, like back in our apartment vlogs,
we
the same recipes. Like it was taco night, chicken, our cornflake chicken, our pizza, and drunken noodles. Like that was like it. Mm-hmm. That's all I made. So we still like do make those things, but we're trying to find more variety so that like we don't again get stuck in that monotony. And I'm like, I want more food. So trying to keep that in mind. I feel like in our vlog you can see that a little bit.
Literally the hardest time at the grocery store today.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on that. Shortcakes like apparently are not at
everything
the
that
store.
I thought would be like in one spot. The muffin mix that Ciera and I were searching for We were up and down like 2 different aisles 3 different times, I swear.
And guess where it was? Exactly where you think it would be.
In one of the aisles. It was just like we were blind to it. And then we were looking for shortcakes because Ciera really wants to make shortcakes. And
Well, I want to put together a shortcake, strawberry shortcake. I don't want to make the shortcake. Hence why I was trying to look for shortcake. And usually it's like in the produce section right next to the strawberries. They'll like hang it up next to the strawberries. And it wasn't there. So I was like, okay, where else would it be? Baking aisle, maybe? Scouring the shelves. It's not there. Eventually I go to like the online grocery store to see if it's even at that location. And I guess it's not. So I'm going to have to go to Target at some point this week to get some shortcake.
And then like Ciera and I just saw kind of like a s'mores air fryer recipe not that long ago. So I remembered it when we were there and I was like, we should get stuff for that, which is obviously just s'mores stuff. So I found the chocolate and marshmallows. Like the marshmallows are what I saw first to remind me of it. So I found those. And then I found the chocolate. I knew I went to the right section, but it took a little bit for me to find. And then I was like, where are graham crackers? I think I went back to the baking aisle first because I was like, I don't know. And then when I looked up to be like, what are the aisle options here? I was like, oh, like chips, cookies, crackers, like it's got to be in that aisle. So then we're walking down that aisle. We like get through the whole thing and we're like, this has to be the right aisle.
Well, what we did at first was we split. You went down one on like the baking aisle, and then
We
I
did
went
get it
down
wrong
like
at
another
first,
one.
didn't we?
And then I was like, well, you don't have it, and I don't have it.
So then we went to the chips, cookies, crackers section. To be fair, the entire section, because I only get Honey Maid graham crackers. So like I'm looking for a blue box with graham crackers on it. The whole section was wiped out. So, you know, fair enough to miss it the first time. But then I was kind of like, we turned back around in the same aisle. I see some off-brand graham crackers. And then I found up on like the highest shelf that you couldn't really see super well was like it's like the smaller packaging, still Honey Maid, whatever. But anyways, we found the graham crackers. It was just quite the trip to the grocery store.
Anyway, but then our lunch today, like this is an example of like what I mean when I'm saying like coming up with like good. I don't know if I'm necessarily going for healthy. Like I'm going for like not healthy. I don't want it to be like super unhealthy, you know, is what I'm saying.
And I'm also like, you know, if I don't have to go out somewhere and spend more money to buy something,
that's also the
I can do
goal.
it at home.
So we are big fans of Blaze. Actually, like haven't been quite as much.
Yeah.
Because we got it all the time in Iowa City in undergrad. And then the pandemic happened. We went home. It closed. I guess it couldn't survive the pandemic. Have gotten it a few times. Like there's a few locations in the Des Moines area that we've gotten it at. But otherwise, like haven't gotten it too much. And then when we're in Iowa City, it wasn't up there anymore. So we couldn't get it. But we always got, I guess we didn't always get it. But we started getting the You Take Two, or it's just not even called that. It's like
half of a pepperoni pizza and a Caesar salad.
Yeah, but it's very good. Like surprisingly, salad and pizza go very well together. And so Megan like wanted to get that today after we worked out because it's not that close, but it's close.
I just wanted to get it, and I was like, but we are not going to because
so then we decided, okay, let's go grocery shopping. We got one of those like Caesar salad kits, and we still have extra for that too. And then we got some things to make like our own little small pizzas in our air fryer. That air fryer,
love it.
I don't know, like it's because it doesn't preheat.
Yeah, like you take out the preheating time that the oven has,
and like
so it makes it so much more accessible.
It also like is an air fryer, so it has a few other things that it can do that an oven can't. But like
love
our pizza bites that we've made, like so easy. Our pizza, just like the flatbread pizza we just made, so easy. I'm gonna make some mozzarella sticks at some point. Like
we've got some not mashed potatoes. We've got some roasted potatoes. We're gonna try. Like, I just love using that thing. And I knew for the longest time that like I intended to get one. But like if you're on the border of like, I don't know, should I get it or not? I would recommend.
Like we've been using it for like less than 2 weeks, and it's just like, wow, I love it. And we're only gonna hopefully figure out more stuff as time goes on.
And then we got like a pre-made Caesar salad kit. Just so it was like, okay, sorry.
You can continue though.
It's been a good day. Mm-hmm. I also last night, what I'm gonna do after this, me being like my little influencer self. Last night I tried out one of my new gifts, which I got the Shark Flex Style, which is kind of like a knockoff of the Dyson Airwrap, but like
not
Shark
really
is still like a reputable brand. It's much cheaper than the Airwrap. So tried it yesterday after I showered. And I recorded clips on my phone, so I need to like cut those together and then like narrate it quickly, and then I'm gonna post that on TikTok. So, but overall, first impressions, I do enjoy it and I like it, and I'm excited to continue seeing how I can figure out good ways to use it. So, which I was kind of thinking, now that I have this, you could probably take my Revlon one styler or one step styler.
I probably could. Otherwise, I called Planet Fitness because that's where I was going in Cedar Rapids when I was working out. I made sure it was canceled. So like that was just like one of those things where it's like I need to do that, but I didn't want to do it because I had to call someone. But it was fine, and it was canceled, so that's good. And then otherwise, I'm like, I got a dental impressions kit that I need to do today. And then, was there anything else on my to-do list? I want to read more. My reading is going pretty well.
Read to page 100 of The Moon is a Harsh Mistress and then DNF that book immediately. This book, you guys, it has like a 4.15 on Goodreads.
I think it's just like...
Did you read the first page again when I sent it?
Yeah. I mean, I skimmed it. Honestly, I couldn't even be bothered to...
It is so hard to read. These
new rule. Before you buy a book, you have to read the first page of it.
Apparently. So I might... Ciera's telling me I should like... Because you're probably not going to read it.
No.
I should probably just like use one of those like free libraries and see if I can find like a good book there and like switch it out because it's not happening. And then I have other books I want to read. And then I also am like technically supposed to kind of also be following that TBR of
yeah, you're not doing a good job with that. I still have to finish my book. I've got like 200 some pages left in that, but I did pass the 600 page mark of it, so I'm proud of that. I'm reading 11/22/63 if you aren't caught up on my reading.
Okay, let's open up our 2022 New Year's goals and resolutions. I think we both had these categorized, question mark.
I usually have it categorized, so probably.
Okay, I have found mine.
I found mine as well.
Okay.
I have life as a category.
I'm looking at this and I'm just like, wow, I don't have any categories, so.
Well, mine are just like, some of them are generic, so it's like kind of stupid. Say yes more. Like, I don't know how to judge that. I want to say, like, if an opportunity was presented, I feel like this would have been more applicable, like, when we were still in Iowa City with, like, our friends and stuff. But, like, I usually, like, would always say, like, if they wanted to do something, like, I'm always down, usually, to, like, do something. However, like, since moving back to Des Moines or being in Cedar Rapids, like, there wasn't really anything to say yes to. So we need, like, more exposure to more things. I'm going to say that one. Say yes exactly. To. I'm going to say that one, no.
Okay, I agree. Okay.
You're judging my resolutions, too.
My first one, mine are in no order. Learn more languages, especially if traveling. So for that one, I made it a goal of mine to try and use the Duolingo app regularly in order to try and learn a language because I don't know of another feasible way that's going to like make it
be an easy way to incorporate
easy to do every day. And honestly, here's some highlights. At one point, I did have like a 150 something day streak. So, and I was learning Italian was my goal. However, I've kind of come to the realization, well, since like October, I don't know if I've done it a single time since
really?
Then. Because like I wasn't in a good spot, so I didn't really care to do it. And then also
after like October, things kind of
the more I thought about it, the more I was kind of like, I don't even know if I could say like, hello, my name is in Italian. Like I feel like it works okay for like reading and whatnot, but then like, I don't know Italian. You know what I mean? And so I was kind of like, just not really buying into that method of learning a language. When I was kind of like, should I do it? And then I was like, no, I really don't want to. So it's still on my phone. I get notifications for it every day, multiple times a day.
And you're like, no.
But it hasn't really been for me. So I kind of need to, and you know, learning a language, that was like an extracurricular, like extra thing that I wanted to do. I don't really care that much that I am not fluent in Italian right now, but yeah. So kind of did it, kind of did not, is my verdict for that.
Okay. Another goal of mine was finding my groove in Des Moines. Friends, relationships, etc. Family-wise, like I did a great job spending time with family and like coordinating my time in that way.
I had a similar one where I said that my goal was to work towards establishing a friend group in Des Moines. And I put forth some level of effort this year. And by that I mean there was one person who I met on one of my clinicals that I had gotten their information, and like we kind of got along pretty well during clinical, and then I intended to contact them but then I didn't, and so I was like, whoops. And then funny enough, at my last clinical, she was at the same site, but like on the first day I just happened to see her in passing, and then like I never saw her again during my clinical there, but it kind of was like, oh, like I should reach out to her and see what happens. And so I did, but then like nothing came of it and happened for whatever reason. So the effort was there, which is something, but
could more
nothing
have been
concrete
done?
came out of that. So
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people have the luxury of like if they move back to their hometown, their friend group in adulthood just oftentimes becomes the friend group that they had in high school, which is fine. And like I'm cordial enough with like the people that I was friends with in high school, but like didn't maintain like friendship or contact that much in undergrad or grad school, so like they're not my friends now. So I have to, if I want friends,
and all of
in
our
the area,
friends from PT school are not
Yeah.
going to be in Des Moines.
they're all moving elsewhere, or like going back to where they're
Like,
from.
they're all like fairly a good drive away.
Yeah.
So that has
if
to be
we
like
want-
more planned type stuff.
If we want friends in the area where we live that are our age, then we will have to put forth some effort. And we're going to figure that out in 2023. My next one was figure out where I want to work. I have an idea of where I want to work. However, do I have a job lined up? No. Have I applied anywhere? No. So I don't know what I would mark that one as. I'm happy that I have like a place like or a setting that I know I'm going to be like happy in if I can get to that spot. I'd be happy enough like in a couple different settings, but I feel like I know like what I want to do long term, and that would be inpatient rehab. So it's nice that I figured that out.
Okay. My next one is rebrand the podcast, which we did quite early on this year. And I'm still happy with the little rebrand that we did. And I think, you know, having a studio space like was something else that we did this year. That was a new thing. So we've definitely taken steps in the right direction. But we can do a little bit more too. So that's hopefully going to be the next step. But I like where we're at. So that's all good.
My next one was volunteer more. This is like a goal of mine every year. And last year I at least did, was it last year that we did a little something where we did the Meals from the Heartland? I was like,
Yes.
that was when I was looking at my goals, and I was like, oh God, can I get this done? So I volunteered one time for like 2 hours. Did I volunteer a lot this year? No, not really.
Did you volunteer at all this year?
That's what I was trying to think of. I don't think so, which is not good. Did you volunteer at all this year? You're like, no, but I didn't put it as my goal.
I don't think I had that as a goal. Okay.
Ooh, technically, I did have to volunteer to... wait, no, community outreach was not this semester. I finished it all last semester, I think. So never mind, right? Was any of that this year? Maybe it was.
I feel
Do you
like you
remember?
had to do more than I did. Did you help out with that walk and run?
Yeah, wasn't that this year?
Yes.
So I did volunteer. So that's not like a lot of volunteering. It was like one day.
I said, pending COVID, go to Europe.
I mean, we could have.
I know, I remember that being kind of like in my, like, I kind of was like wanting to do that over one of our like gaps and stuff.
Which, like, really? I know I don't want to do like a long trip to Europe, but like I'm gonna need more than like I feel like a week to...
Right, and it's just like realistically between clinicals, like yes, you have a week between, but it's like you're kind of just like you kind of just want to rest. I feel like is how I ended up wanting to be after clinicals. So it would have been a lot. It also would have obviously been a lot of money, and it was just not the most feasible thing. So did not do that.
The last one I had in my life category was to read 40 books, and I did do that. I read 41. I'm on my 42nd. I think I can get 1 or 2 more done by the end of the year.
In the next 4 days, 5 days?
Yeah, I think so. I said 1 or 2. So the one that I'm currently reading.
Okay, yeah. This one I actually, let's see. I said improve my hair care routine. In parentheses, I have silk pillowcases, Pureology, simple styles, especially for gym, travel, clinical. I do think, not necessarily on what I specified here, but I've definitely gotten more consistent with styling my hair. And because I've gotten a couple new things this year. I've had my one-step styler for a while, but I used to like not use it. And then when we moved back to Des Moines, I kind of like gave it a shot again and kind of like really found my groove with like styling my hair like fairly regularly, where I feel like now I'm doing it more often than not. I think I also got like, okay, there's a couple different things I got. Obviously, I just got my Shark Flex style, which is like another thing, but I haven't really gotten used to that one. I also have an overnight curler thing that's the one that's viral on TikTok. And
Not the legging curls, though.
no. I've used that 2 or 3 times, and overall, I do like it. I just, my hair is not usually in, like, the sweet spot it needs to be in.
For, like, when you can really utilize those
yeah.
curls.
So, I've only
The
had
bad
so
thing
many
about
opportunities to
a
use
job
it.
in physical therapy is that your hair pretty much has to be up, like, every day.
Yeah. And so then I kind of, like you're saying there, like, the blowout's one thing, because, like, it's kind of just smoothing my hair out. So if I put it up or not, like, I don't really care. In that instance, it's like, yes, I could also like curl my hair and then like put it up, and it would still look nice, but
You're like, why?
yeah, don't really care. But it's an option, and I like it. I've also got like these Revlon like hot roller things, which I haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of, but they're there.
You tried them like 2 or 3 times?
And then I've kind of gotten like, I use Velcro rollers every once in a while, mostly like for like styling the front of my hair, just to help it hold its shape a little bit better. Those are hard to use. Like they can get stuck in your hair.
This was not a goal of mine, but I also feel like I am trying to put more effort into
And I just
how I
got
do my hair.
Olaplex for Christmas. So
At this
we'll
point,
see if
people
it
who are
lives up to
listening
the
don't
hype.
even have to like go watch our video. We need to stop saying our Christmas presents. But I have been trying to put more effort into doing my hair as well, just because I feel like, I mean, anyway, like before even any of this, when it came to my hair, I would just like let it air dry and like, you know, that was it. And like I hated how my hair would air dry. I think part of it has to do with the fact that if I really let it air dry appropriately, I'd probably have to do like some sort of like not brush it, or like I think my hair has like a little bit of wave to it, and so like when I brush it, it just like does this weird pattern thing, and like when it air dries and I don't style it, it just doesn't look good. And then I'd always be like, I don't like to do like my makeup, I don't like to, you know, get dressed up super fancy. And I've seen like these, you know, quote unquote rules of like to look put together, you should either do like 2 of 3 things: hair, makeup, outfit. And I'm like, I'm not doing any of it right now. And so I'm like, okay, let's try and like see if I can do my hair, because that's the easiest thing to like last a longer time. Like you said, if you do your hair and like blow it dry, or like do like a quote unquote blowout, that can last until your next wash.
Right. And I think the thing that's made it much more realistic for me is like, I'm usually like someone who showers at night, and so my hair is wet before I go to bed. And so then it's helped me to, because I honestly don't mind styling my hair, but if I'm tired in the morning and I wake up, like that's not what I want to do. So therefore, my hair is never styled. But this is like, okay, I get out of the shower, I'll like let my hair like be up in like a towel for a little bit or air dry a little bit, and then eventually like I'll go and style my hair with like the blow dryer or like the one-step styler. I can now use my Shark Flex style, and then it's like it is styled now, and it lasts like, so the next morning when I wake up, my hair looks pretty good, which is what's made it actually something I can do.
And then I've been like wanting to try and see if I can do like some of those like slicked back updos that people are doing, because like I said, I A, work out regularly, and B, have to wear my hair up regularly when I go to work, which I'll have to do next year. So it'd be nice to have like a way that like I can style it that I'm like, oh, like this is like a little bit more of a look than what I've been doing. So I need to get like a cheap boar bristle brush from like Target or something.
It's kind of like, it's time to stop doing it halfway.
Yeah.
It's time to like, if we're going to do it, we got to do it how the TikTok girlies are saying to do it.
So I'll probably try that at some point, like before my next shower, just because you like usually put oil in your hair. It's supposed to be like end of your like dirty hair, like cycle, you know, when you like are about to wash it again, because you're supposed to really oil it up. And that scares me a little bit, honestly.
Yeah.
That was yours. I just was jumping onto that one. So I have a health and fitness and wellness category. So I have 3 goals here. One was to work out 3 or 4 times a week. I usually include this every year just to like kind of keep me accountable, and also like it's something that people add in like anyways of like, oh, I want to work out, and I'm like, why do you work out? So like I just want to have that consistency, so I just put it in. And I usually, for the most part, like I'm not gonna say like every week for this whole year I worked out 3 to 4 times a week. No, but I feel like it's not realistic, and that's not my intention. My intention is longevity, and I think I do a good job sticking to that, and I did a good job this year. So I think sometimes I like
there was
air
something
more
I
on the
saw,
3 than the 4, so I would like to get more to like getting in 4 times a week.
There was something I saw on TikTok not that long ago, and it was essentially this girl saying like
Enlightening.
it was essentially her saying that like the reason like she is confident she's always going to be like at least like decently in shape because like she goes like regularly to the gym, and it's not always a good workout. Like sometimes she's like, sometimes I just go and I'm literally like walking the entire time like while I'm watching TikTok, or sometimes I am just like stretching, rolling out, but you're there, and the habit is that you're just going consistently and maintaining that, and you're not always going and doing like the hardest workout ever. But I think that is so important, and like you do not need to go have the hardest workout of your life every time that you're going to the gym, because I feel like that's when people kind of go in like ebbs and flows of like they're really hitting it hard, getting after it, and then you get tired at some point and you're just like, I'm not gonna go, and you're kind of like, I still don't want to go. And so like it's just a different approach to maybe consider taking, and a lot of people in the comments were like, this has been like what has helped me continue going to the gym for as long as I have been. And I feel like we both probably fit into that category decently well. Today was the first day back since, it's probably been about a week because the blizzards and then holidays and stuff, since Ciera and I went. And it was busy, like we said, so it was kind of hard to
I had a good
figure
workout,
out exactly what to do.
I think.
Okay, well, we still had like, maybe you joined me more at like 15 minutes left, but like 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe into my workout, I was like, I have 20 minutes left, but it is so busy in here and I don't really know what to do. So then I was like, I'm going to go do some abs and stretching and mobility. And so that's what I did.
But also like that stuff shouldn't be discounted either. Like if one thing I've learned with like, you know, having to be on rotation and stuff is like I'm essentially creating like a workout plan for these people that are coming in, and like I include stretching and mobility as part of their workouts. So I'm like, why am I not including it in my own? Because I feel like I would get in the habit of like, I do these exercises and then I leave, and that's my workout, and like I need to only do exercises for 45 minutes. That's usually like Megan and I do 45-minute workouts. And so that's the other thing. If you guys are like looking for some insight, I feel like Megan and I for the longest time, this was like early undergrad, we'd be like, we have to go to the gym for an hour. We have to be there for an hour. Like, everyone works out for an hour. And, like, somewhere, like, sophomore year, I think, I don't know if it was freshman year, but, like, freshman or sophomore year, we were like, what if we just did a 45-minute workout? Because, like, that way we'll get a full workout in and feel fulfilled, and not, like, you know, we try and get to an hour and then we feel, like, defeated if we only made it to, like, 45 minutes. So we're like, what if we just set the intention of working out for 45 minutes? And then, like, from there, we've pretty much always been able to, like, get to 45 minutes. Granted, you know, there's some days where you're like, no, 30 minutes today.
Right.
So whether it's a time or an attitude thing, whatever. But I think sometimes setting your intention can, like, help you feel more successful, even though, like, the physical thing you're doing isn't changing. So, I don't even know what we're talking about.
I know. I'm like, what was your 3 to 4 times a week?
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
I didn't have any gym goals. Somewhat related but not entirely the same was one of my goals was I wanted to maintain friendships after moving back, and I feel like I can say we did that, but it was like probably to like the bare minimum, and it wasn't necessarily always like due to our I guess I shouldn't be like bringing you into this because it's not your goal. It wasn't due to like my reaching out to people necessarily or my getting the ball rolling. Because it's like, you know, it's kind of a group effort. There's other people in our friend group that would say like, oh, like let's schedule a FaceTime meeting. And so like when someone else does that, I'm usually like, it's easy for me to jump on and say like, let's do that. So we did like 2 FaceTime group calls, which were all nice and good. There was one time where we had all kind of talked about like doing a meetup around like August or something.
But it's
and
also like so hard.
It's
like
really
everyone
hard.
has
Just like
different schedules.
locations are all different, timing is different, and like it's hard to plan all of that out when everyone's like not together, and then you're just like all kind of like sitting from afar, and like you kind of pose the question of like, hey, were we thinking about doing this? But like it's a long way from there to like getting something planned and figured out in a timely manner where it actually happens. So it didn't happen.
My next goal, still in the health, fitness, and wellness category, was to drink more water. I have like a hard time figuring out if I like met this or not. I think it comes and goes in waves, you know? Like now, in the time I'm in now, my water drinking is not going well. But like
In the era that I'm currently in,
I am not in my water drinking era. But like there would be like, I feel like when I was at my pediatrics rotation and even at the start of like this rotation still, I was doing a good job drinking water. So I don't know. It's probably going to be a goal again next year. What I need to do is like, you know, me coming up with like what's going to go on next year. And I won't try to spoil it because we still might do an episode for
I think like a
goals and
different
resolutions.
tactic is needed.
Yeah. And I have that. It's in my mind. So stay tuned for potentially next week. Might be when we're doing it.
I think so.
I have some thoughts. But that goal, you'll probably hear me talk about it again. Because I'm never drinking enough water. Unless you're a
you
nephrologist.
Yeah.
And maybe I am drinking enough water.
I have 3 more. I don't know if you have a lot more than I do or...
Yeah.
Okay. My next one was settle for no one, but keep working on dating, aka no specific date goal. I made this my new dating goal, if you will, last year. After last year, I don't know what I think my goal was actually just like 1 date.
And it was too hard.
So this year, I guess in a sense, it's like I kind of met it, I guess, because there's been no one I've come across or met that I
there you go.
have thought like, okay, this is worth pursuing.
Next, I did meet this goal.
So therefore, we could consider this goal met. Every year, it ends up being a like, what to do now? Because like I kind of care about dating, but I also like am not going to reshape my life around making it so that it happens, you know? And I don't know how people meet people in real life. So, and the dating apps aren't working either. So,
I didn't have like a specific date goal either. The one that I had earlier was like friendships, relations, and stuff. I did go on dates with one person this year. So I'm like, you know, happy about that. I think I learned some things about like what I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for. So I can only hope that hopefully just like the more people I meet, like that's my biggest problem, I think.
right? Like
just,
we need to start with...
we don't know people. We don't meet people. Anyone. So whatever we need to do next year, I don't know. But we need to figure something out.
It's a common theme.
Anyway, I'm sure there's people watching this that can relate.
They're kind of like, they get to the end of the year too, and they're just like, well, yeah, what the heck is the answer?
Okay. The last one I had was, not like last one, but in this health, fitness, wellness category was to journal/diary more. I do have a journal that I use, but my goal is to, like, ideally, I think if I could, like, write in it, like, once a month, that'd be, like, a good frequency to, like, get some solid, like, updates between entries. I've been slacking on that this year. Like, I don't know the last time I wrote in it. So, I mean, towards the end of the year, I was like, I have some updates, but I don't want to, I don't really feel like writing about that. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe I'll start fresh next year. Are you done?
I have 2 more. One was travels for spring break, which we did do.
We did.
Went to Clearwater Beach,
And it was fun.
and it was a good time.
That was like prime, like, that was my book vacation. If I ever were to have one.
That was it.
Yeah. Like, we went to the beach and we just, like, read. And, like, that was our vacation. Like, during the day.
Right.
And it was great. Yeah, like, between you and Morgan, we read so many books.
Yeah. It was like tossing books
Yeah,
around.
we were like, finish one. Here, you read this one, and I'll read this one. Like, we were just swapping books all over. It was so great. So, and like, just nothing better than reading on a beach. I had 2 social media goals. One was to figure out TC2. And then I was like, is it already done? I don't know. And I think just now,
you know
in the
what?
year.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I didn't realize this was a goal. So what a way to at least meet
we're
that at the
addressing
last
it.
second.
And we're kind of figuring it out. Having an idea for sure as we head into 2023. And I'm content with like where it's at. Like my goal is just to not feel like lost and directionless with it. And I think that right now we're not. So, yeah. And then also I had post on Instagram 2 times a month. I did not do that. I'm trying to like figure out my influencer era.
I know. It's like we are like the least influencer type influencer people, but it's like a dog eat dog world out there. You got to try and do what you gotta do.
I don't post, and then I'm like, why is no one seeing my stuff?
Why aren't brands coming to me with partnerships? And it's
I'm
like, have I given them any reason to?
So I'm trying to figure out.
Like, I kind of am like, I don't necessarily like posting a lot or doing like the classic influencer things, but like in a sense, you kind of just gotta do what you gotta do. So I need to try and find like a fine balance between what I'm willing to put in versus like being realistic and reasonable with, I know, my lack of
drive with wanting
to post stuff.
And it's like we got the YouTube stuff down. Like that has from day one been our main social media platform, because I'm like, oh, like that's the content that I'm creating, and like I'm choosing to do that. It's harder with like the more like Instagram, TikTok, lifestyle type stuff.
That's like the daily stuff that keeps your audience like engaged with you as a person. And it's also like how other people could explore and like find you. I have been better at TikTok. Like towards the end of this year, I've been taking that more seriously, whereas before, like I really didn't consider posting on it at all. So that was an improvement.
I remember when I used to like consider Twitter, I'm like, don't even bother.
No.
I did my doctorate, and I did do that. That one I wrote down because I was like, I can get that one.
My last one was buy/figure out housing, which we are sitting right here. So was that reaction to one of yours?
No. I just didn't know that like you had a goal.
Yeah.
Of like,
I think it was just kind of like at the beginning of the year, I like knew something was gonna have to happen. So obviously we decided to buy a house, and I'm very happy with that decision. And so we did do that.
My last one, or not last one, but like I had 2 school ones. So the one was getting my doctorate, and then the second one was trying to like study throughout my clinicals. I wanted to hold myself accountable a little bit. During my first clinical, I did not study like at all. But during my, second one and third one, I think I did a pretty good job of studying a little bit throughout.
I did exactly kind of what I expected to and intended to do, I think, which is all you can really ask. Like, I wanted to make sure I wasn't just forgetting about it and tried to, like, put some good work in. But I also didn't have any specific, tangible expectations or goals. But I think it all worked out fine.
And we'll really figure out if it worked out come January 25th.
We've got 2 more practice tests that we can use before our actual exam. So today I kind of figured out when I wanted to do those, just to like help me with spacing out the rest of my studying and things like that. And hopefully these ones start to look, kind of nice. It'd be great if they were really like in a good spot. So I was like, okay, I'll do fine.
I have my last 3 are in like a travel category, and some of these I knew were going to happen, so it wasn't really a goal. But I had going to CSM, so that was our combined sections meeting that is hosted by the American Physical Therapy Association. I knew I was going to that. Our school like pretty much brings everyone within the second year class to that, so I knew I was going there. But that was in February. That was in San Antonio. Spring break. Megan just talked about that. We did go on spring break to Clearwater, and I said go on at least one vacation between clinicals. I didn't specify to Europe or anything, but we did go on one vacation to Cincinnati to visit Maggie. So got all my travel goals as I intended complete, which like I didn't have super, a high threshold or anything, because I kind of was like, I don't know how much of a travel year it will be given my circumstances with school and stuff, and like our limited breaks. Not to say like we have more breaks than most people like working a full-time job, just because we get a week between each rotation and stuff. So yeah, those were all of my 2022 goals. I'm overall like happy, like thinking about like the start of the year versus like where we're at now. I'm like, okay, we got some stuff done.
It's a year of growth.
Yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode. If you keep track of any like goals or resolutions, feel free to comment any of your 2022 goals and resolutions, and if you did them or not, and if you like did it and you have like a key that you can like say like give any tips to anyone else, leave those in the comments below as well.
Like if you had any similar ones to myself or Ciera, and you maybe were more successful than we were, I would gladly take any tips or things that you tried.
I also I didn't include like stop biting my nails because I thought I had kicked the habit at the end of last year, and I was like, I don't need to write it down. But I didn't really kick the habit. So Megan and I are still on our journey of not trying to bite our nails.
I think it's one of those things, like if it's just part of like, it's just one of those things you kind of have to keep working towards. It's probably never going to go away. But yeah, Ciera and I both like we definitely relapsed. But then today, this is the little moments, the things you have to kind of keep track of. We have the battery on our camera. You have to like use your nail to like open it, and then the SD card slot on here.
Did you open it?
Did it myself today. Got it both open.
So it's like non-scale victories, but like fingernails.
So that was a proud moment for me today.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, or to follow us on Instagram or anything like that. That's about it. I don't know like what else you can do that on.
We will talk to you guys next Thursday. Bye.